Stephen House from Full-Time Devils. I'm outside Old Trafford. This is a transfer review. We're going to be talking about the ins and the outs of Manchester United. We're going to be talking a fact from the fiction. We're going to be sorting out those who know what they're talking about from those who are peddling shit. Okay, so on Saturday, this one sort of really exploded. And this is Perišić from Inter Milan. Now, there wasn't a relationship between Jose and Perišić at Inter Milan, which is what you thought, oh, might be a bit of a link in there, but it doesn't exist. He came a long time after Jose Mourinho left. However, this one sort of massively exploded. There's now talk of wages, there's talk of the fees. It's been widely reported by everybody. And in England, the Sun, I know. The Sun have gone kind of hard on it and sort of making assumptions that this deal is in place. Now, much like when we signed Damian, it feels like this guy's not really going to be a needle mover in terms of selling the papers. So whenever you get a transfer like this, that's a little bit underwhelming in terms of like the name, I generally tend to believe that sort of transfer. I do believe Jose Mourinho's looking for a left-sided attacker. I don't believe he's entirely happy with Anthony Martial. And considering we let Memphis go, there is a bit of an open spot there on that left-hand side. Is he value for money? Is anyone value for money at the moment? What I've seen of Perišić, he looks like a fairly good player. He's got quite a lot of goals and assists this season. Does look a little bit inconsistent, but that's kind of to be expected from wingers. And it's also kind of to be expected from a team like Inter at the moment who aren't very consistent themselves. This might turn out to be a fantastic signing. I do worry that Jose Mourinho's going to have at least one flop this transfer window because statistically we're due a couple after him hitting home runs in every single transfer last season. The way it's talking at the moment, at the time of recording, it feels like it's very on. That could change in the next few hours before this gets released. I'm going to say this looks like a solid 8 out of 10 that it's happening to United. Daily Mirror think that they're uncovering a scoop here by saying, oh my God, Manchester United have been linked to Michael Keane and he's on holiday with Jesse Lingard. Obviously that means it's happening, doesn't it? How about sit down, shut the f*** up and have a think about this one for a minute. Michael Keane and Jesse Lingard were part of the FA Youth Cup winning side in 2011. They're clearly friends. There's probably nothing more to it than that, although Manchester United have been linked with Michael Keane. Is he an upgrade on Axel Tuanzebe? In experience, absolutely. In terms of quality, football, tackling ability, defender, I'm not too sure that he is. And for the money that we're spending on him, I think he could be better utilised elsewhere because let's face it, as much as we can throw the cash around, it's not an unlimited pot. We're not backed by oil barons from Russia or the Far East. So you know what I mean? So I think what's going on with this one is the way the Mirror have painted it, bollocks. But I do think there's something in Michael Keane to United. I'm not going to rule it out just yet. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Here's a name that we've been talking about in transfer review for a very long time. James Rodriguez, linked again with Manchester United. And he's also linked with Inter. Now, the Football Italia website are saying that Pepe and Rodriguez could be going to Inter in a double swoop. Now, I think James Rodriguez is going to cost a hell of a lot of cash. And one of the reasons that Perišić was leaving and that they were so keen to sell to United was because they needed the cash. So that doesn't quite add up to me. If you need the cash and you're selling, well, why are you trying to buy as well? Real Madrid bought him for 75 million euros, which is a hell of a lot of cash, which means that they're not going to let him go on the cheap. I would expect it to be in the 50, 60 million kind of range in terms of euros, that is. And I think that there's a very real chance James Rodriguez leaves. Now, this article's about him going to Inter. I'm going to say 2 out of 10 for him to go to Inter. I still think that there's something in him coming to United. But here's where it gets complicated. United have supposedly had 2 lists, which means that there's arguably twice as many rumours going around about players that we're looking to sign as there normally would be. Now, some of the players are going to be on list 1 and some of the players are going to be on list 2. I think that is a very real chance that James Rodriguez was on list 2. I think it was going to be Griezmann or Rodriguez. I could be entirely wrong about that one. That's just my gut feeling. But I think Griezmann is our Champions League list number 10 kind of guy, and I think Rodriguez is our list 2 Europa League number 10 kind of guy. Could be wrong. Probably have been before. I'm going to say 2 out of 10 to Inter. Watch this space for United. Here we go, 2017 summer saga, Antoine Griezmann. It's probably going to be the one that rumbles on the most. Although there is talk that United are going to try and get it done soon. I just never have faith when it's something that I really want to happen, and I really do want this to happen. Now, this is in the MEN. Now, the MEN do sit at the top of the ladder board of those who peddle shit. They have overtaken the Metro because they literally will clickbait the time of day if you ask them to. But I definitely think there's something in this, and occasionally the MEN even gets something right after everyone else has reported it. So, Antoine Griezmann, he goes on TV, he gets asked about United, and he says, 6 out of 10 chance that I'm going to United. You think, okay. Then he gets on Twitter and says, the rumours of linking me wherever aren't true. You started the rumours, mate. What are you talking about? Here's what I think's happened. I think someone got hold of him and went, Antoine, what are you doing? As if you've just said that on national TV. And he's gone, sacre bleu. I'll throw a tweet out. And they've gone, sound, yeah, throw a tweet out, backpedal a little bit. Listen, even in his tweet, he doesn't deny that he's going anywhere. He says, I need to speak to my advisors. He's coming, let's face it. I'm gonna give the, can't get too giddy, can I? So what should we say? I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 that Griezmann's a United player by the end of this window. How about them apples? Andrea Bellotti. Now this is a decent number 9, and I think Jose Mourinho is definitely looking for a number 9. Now I can't make my mind up if he's list 1 or list 2, like I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, because I think the next guy that I'm going to talk about is the opposite way around, who's on list 1 and list 2, and I don't know who's on which list, but I think that there's a couple of target men style number 9s to replace Zlatan that we're looking at. I think Belotti's one of them. I think he'd be a decent signing. I just don't get the vibe that it's going to come off at the moment, which makes me think that he might have been list 2 for United, more of a secondary choice for someone that's possibly played in the Premier League. I like the style of this guy's play. I like the goals that he scores. I like what I think he could bring to this Manchester United team in terms of linking all those around him and being a figurehead number 9. But I don't think he's coming. I'm going to say 4 or 5 out of 10. Let's go 4, I think, at the moment. I think this next guy, the one we're going to talk about right now, is the one that we are really going for, and I think that's Romelu Lukaku. I'm excited. Adam's pissing his pants over there with giddiness. He can't even come on camera, he's so excited. Both of us have been massive fan of this guy for a long time. I can't make my mind up if he's genuinely world class and just been playing at a lower level, or if we've been deceived a little bit by the fact that he's enormous and he's been basically a grown man since he was 14 years of age. That's why he's got so many goals. I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure he's ever going to be a Ruud van Nistelrooy sort of goal machine, but he's still a very, very good player. And I think Harry Kane and him fall into the same sort of category, as that they're both not going to be like Ballon d'Or winning number 9s, but they're still absolutely mega. They fall into the Andy Cole, Ruud van Nistelrooy sort of category of, no, maybe not Ruud van Nistelrooy, but do that really, really good centre forward that can bring a lot to the team. And I definitely think Lukaku can bring a lot to this team. And I think that we're building a bit of a team around Paul Pogba just by buying all of his mates. Probably not a bad idea. So who's the source for this one then? Well, it's us, kinda. It's Jamie Jackson. Jamie Jackson was on a video with us this week where he spoke about Mourinho being obsessed with Lukaku. And do you know what? I've read some of your comments saying, how can he be obsessed with a player that he let go? Players develop. Mourinho also sold Juan Mata. Did you forget about that? Loves the guy. Things change, players develop, managers' attitudes change as well. So I think that there's a very real chance that Lukaku is now the player that Jose Mourinho wanted him to be. And I hope he is. Chance of it coming off? I can't have another 8, can I? Can't have 3 8s in one video. 7. That was the ins, this is the outs. Now, we've got a who's who's Hall of Fame all-star lineup of bullshit peddlers in the outs. These are the, this is your rogues gallery of people not to follow during a transfer window. The only thing we could have topped this was if we had that guy that used to work at KFC, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first one that we've got to talk about is Luke Shaw. Now, this is in 90th minute. Luke Shaw has been linked with an exit at Manchester United for the entire season. The problem is, I think there's a half-decent chance that Luke Shaw's going to go, which means one of these lot is going to end up getting it on the money, so to speak, at some point during the transfer window. We've got so many options at left back, but I don't think Jose Mourinho's happy with any of them. Hence why we've seen Damian played there instead of him playing at right back. He can play Daley Blind there. When Rojo's fit, we can play there. I don't really like him there, but he can play there. You've also got Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. We saw Demi Mitchell come in and have a fantastic debut, and I hope he's forced his way into the manager's mindset at some point, which leaves poor old Luke Shaw in a little bit of a quandary, doesn't it? Let's not forget, Luke Shaw is still seriously young. You go and check out how old he is. He is not that old. He has still got a hell of a long time to be playing at the top level, and writing him off this early is mental. That being said, it's not like it's not unlike Jose, is it, to really cast someone aside if they're not useful for him. I fear for Luke Shaw. I don't think Jose's gonna have the patience to be able to turn around the confidence issue or whatever it is that needs sorting out with Luke Shaw. But that being said, a pre-season, he could start the next season off like a rocket. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. So I think that there's a good chance he's leaving, not necessarily the way that these lot are saying in 90th minute. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Sun have outdone themselves here. For the Sun. These are the ones who said we were signing Neymar for, I don't know, the Empire State Building and 800 million. Anyway, Rooney leaving Manchester United seems like something that most United fans have accepted. There's been talk of China. There's been talk of Everton. Although he said he wouldn't play for any other team in England, that kind of leaves the door open for just going to Everton, because he's played for United, obviously, and he started his career at Everton. Most people think he's probably going to the MLS or to those crazy money that's in China. Nobody had f***ing Stoke though, did they? Wayne Rooney, Stoke owner, unbelievable. 45 million, hang on. Wayne Rooney for 45 million to Stoke. Someone got paid to sit there and type that, probably one finger, because I don't think they can touch type. 45 million to Stoke. Are you insane? That's not happening. 0 out of 10. Get the f*** out of here. Now, you know there's a hierarchy of people that you listen to and you don't. Here's the prime example of why you don't listen to Goal. So Goal have wrote this article about West Ham's transfer targets, and one of them is Batshuayi, one of them is Ian Atchell. Remember that guy that was going to win a Ballon d'Or, that was better than Rashford, the one that was at City, and City fans couldn't wait to start comparing him to everyone, including Pele. Remember that guy? Yeah, that guy. He's going to be going West Ham, according to Goal. Now, there's a whole article about why they're signing those two players, but that's not how it works at Goal, you see. Someone was sitting there writing, getting on with their little business, making shit up, and someone went, hey, you need to throw United in that, otherwise no one's going to click it. Who's it about? West Ham? City? Nah, mate. Throw United in as well. That's what happened. So the very last line of it, they're like, also interested in Anthony Martial, only started 18 Premier League games for Manchester United. Bollocks. 0 out of 10. Anthony Martial might leave if we're signing another left-sided attacker. It doesn't look like he's Jose Mourinho's #1 favourite guy in the world. However, he's not going to West Ham, is he? This probably is going to end up being the saga that rumbles on all summer, and ultimately for the rest of the guy's career, because of how it went down and almost went down a couple of summers ago. David De Gea wants to go to Real Madrid. That's quite clear, quite evident. Real Madrid, at one point at least, definitely wanted him. Now, according to Don Balon, who McCullough actually thinks is a guy called Don, seriously, and the MEN, which is almost like a combining of superpowers of bullshit peddlers. Ronaldo said that Keylor Navas is indispensable, which means that David De Gea is going nowhere, apparently. I'm not convinced. I've sort of mentally been preparing for David De Gea to leave for the last 2-3 months at least. So this story is saying David De Gea is going nowhere, which means I have to rate the chances of David De Gea going nowhere, and I'm going to have to say, I rate it quite low. I'm going to say 2 or 3 out of 10. Let's go with 3 out of 10. Because I do think he's going at some point, whether it's now or in another time. I think it's inevitable that he leaves Manchester United, sadly. Right, Reg, you've got a job to do over the summer transfer window. There's going to be so many bogus transfer rumours that your head's going to nearly fall off. Mine does, going through all of this sort of stuff. Full Time Devils always encourages you to check your sources. That's one of the things that we want to do. We'd rather drill down into a transfer rumour and prove it to be false than just constantly try and hype up stuff that's not going to happen. However, we can't do it alone. We need your help, and we're going to reward you guys for doing the fact checking. So if you want to get involved, help Full Time Devils. Anytime that you see a transfer rumour, don't take it on face value. Start drilling down into it. Who've they quoted? Go and find out what he actually said. Is it translated from somewhere else? Maybe check it out and see what it actually says, because a lot of these translations end up being false. Start fact checking, and if you send us your stuff and fact check it and prove something to be absolute bollocks, we're going to retweet you and we're going to put you right in this video as our fact checker of the week. It's like a golden star when you're in primary school, but better because it's on YouTube and it's on Full Time Devils, obviously. So if you see a transfer rumour and you can prove it to be utter garbage, or it contradicts something that that same journalist or that same paper has already said, then send it to us. And in the next transfer review, we're going to also be checking out how many times United, because the window's not even open yet. So by the time the window opens, we're going to see how many players United have been linked to. Last summer, it was around about 200. So that's the target, I guess, for the bullshit peddlers to reach. 200. Are we going to get more or less than 200? I think with there being potentially 2 lists, I think there's a very real chance United get linked with more than 200 players this window. But we're going to keep a running tally of everyone that we've been linked to. So if you see someone that United have been linked to and you think that's a little bit out there, I've not seen that one before, then tweet that at us. Make sure that we get that as well. Send it to us on Facebook. Send it to us however you need to. Carry a pigeon, however you want. That's it. We're back every Monday with the transfer review. Smash into pieces all the lies that you see in the papers. Thanks for watching. Help us check the sources and whatever. Laters.